was a lady who got her head caved in MMA with a knee, and she had literally her head looked like a donut.
But men are stronger than women. You are always going to be stronger than women. So I don't feel in a contact sport that should be
Yeah.
legal at all. I do not agree with it.
Shamara, welcome to the
Yes.
show. Bless your
Hello.
heart. Pressing question. Do you feel a shorter journey to a world title for a female does it affect the importance of a world title? And also do you think that in turn affects the amount of money that females make?
Well, to begin with, we all know that women's boxing is not getting paid as much as men's. It's slowly on the rise. Obviously, we've seen people like Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, Alicia Baumgartner that have done amazing, amazing things. Clarissa Shields, some of my favorite fighters that have done amazing things in women's boxing. But it is a shorter way to a world title. You know, as a female, we're looking at maybe 7 to 8 fights and then a title shot because there isn't a big pool of women fighters as compared to
Mhm.
men. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of women fighters. Not a lot of women, want to step in here and do this. It takes a very strong and a little bit crazy type of woman to want to fight for a living. And of course, we love it. We love it.
I
Um,
like it.
but it definitely does affect um the amount of money that we make. But then I also feel that
Yeah. It's not because of the equal opportunity, I don't think, anymore. Because I think people are
mm-mm,
really bought into the female boxing thing, and I actually
yeah,
really, really like it. I just personally, it was a question that I wanted to know from you, but my personal opinion, that is the only reason but as far as boxing, football, soccer, Hmm, I'm not about that, but it's a bit different. But with female boxing, again, you can have 7, 8 fights, and you could
mm-hmm,
literally. We spoke to Nina Hughes the other day, who's the WB, I think she's the WBA super bantamweight world champion. She was on the show, and she said she's 39, 40 years old. 39, she went pro and won a world title in a year. Now, if a man did that with a massive pool, there's obviously different levels within that. There's not,
correct.
is there, with female boxing? So I think that's the real reason that females aren't getting paid as much, unless you are the Clarissa Shields or the Katie Taylors when they are bringing in significant money. And hopefully, you and Katie Taylor, definitely, and Clarissa Shields, are going to inspire the next generation, so we can start filling this pool a little bit more, and let's start making things a little bit more, more financially suitable.
You go to boxing gyms now. When I started boxing, I was the only female in a vast majority of the gyms. You go to boxing gyms now, you see little girls. I went to nationals. There was a little girl about 7 years old. Amazing, amazing
Mhm.
footwork, amazing hand speed. So you're just seeing more and more females at a younger age getting into the sport. And it's so amazing to see because it builds such a strong foundation for women.
So obviously, female boxing is different than males. They
Hmm.
have their 2-minute rounds,
Correct.
female, and 3-minute rounds for male. Do you feel that should be that way, or why do you think it's that way anyway? If we want to
Um,
be equal, then we need to make it equal.
I agree to a certain extent. At the end of the day, I actually had this discussion with my coach. My coach is
Okay.
super into the science of the body and researching everything and understanding, the difference between men and women and how woman's body works and what we can adapt to. And
Okay.
as you know, for amateur fights, we do fight 3-minute rounds. We fight
Hmm.
3 3-minute rounds. When we go pro, it changes to two. And at the end of the day, a woman's body is just not equipped to perform at the level of a man's body. That's just scientifically proven. No matter how much we train, no matter how hard we train, I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's scientifically proven. Women's body just, I don't believe, can push as hard as a man's, and that's that we're not a man. We don't have the testosterone. Not
Okay.
saying that it's impossible, but it's scientifically proven. We're not men.
What's your thoughts on? And I think she's really cool of you to answer these questions in this manner, by the way, because it's quite pressing. But it's nice that you're so open. I like being open with everybody. You should see the discussions I get in. Honestly, it's ridiculous. We're seeing a lot of transgender moves into different sports. People
Correct.
going into kind of um, swimming when they were as a
Hmm.
man and being 200th in the world, trans whatever into a transgender, and then number one and breaking records in the sport.
Hmm.
Bit different though when it's coming to MMA, boxing, because they are built differently.
Correct.
There was a lady who got her head caved in MMA with a knee, and she had literally her head looked like a donut because she got her head caved in with the knee. What's your opinion on that? Because, in my opinion, no chance. No, when it comes to hurting someone, absolutely categorically, no. I don't care what you put in your body. Man should
Hmm.
not be fighting a woman. What's your opinion on that?
Of course, I support the transgender community. I support the LGBT community.
Mhm.
But boxing and fighting is a completely different sport than swimming or golfing
Yeah,
or any of those non-contact sports. As a contact sport, physically you have testosterone in your body, and no matter how much estrogen you take, you can never be a woman. And I hate to say that because I never want it to come off the wrong way, but men are stronger than women. You are always going to be stronger than women, so I don't feel in a contact sport that should be
yeah,
legal at all. I do not agree with it. I feel like you can very permanently injure a woman. Of course they're making that transition, but you're always going to have that baseline of you are genetically born a man and you can
yeah. Bone
seriously injure.
structure and
Yeah.
yeah. Bless you, bless you. That's really cool of you. Love that. I like having these debates.
Statistics, genetically proven. It's just we're women. At the end of the day, we are women. And there's nothing you can do to change that. There's nothing you can do to match a man's power and a man's strength. As much
Yeah,
as we train naturally, it's just impossible. I'm very, I feel very strongly about that. Especially because at the end of the day, a lot of us are mothers. A lot of us have kids to come home to.
yeah.
And I would hate to take a fight and not come home to my son because you didn't look at the safety aspect of what could happen.